What the is going on?
I like to party.
Jesus, honey, wax much?
This is Unwaxed
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
with Sophia and Sistine Stallone.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
One time, Sophia and I were trying to raise money for a party, and it was nothing. We were like, okay, what are quick ways to
Is this
make
your
cash?
last
For our
Halloween
last
party?
Halloween party.
I
We're like-
remember it was a fervor, panic.
Yeah, we were like,
Yeah.
should we sell plasma? Because I think you can get a lot of money for that.
Sistine, of course, suggested feet at one point.
Foot pics,
Which-
2 weeks, that's it.
I'm sorry, I
delete
feel
the
like
account.
it's too late. It's already out there. Like, you
Our
know,
feet?
Yeah, you know that. It's on the Wiki feed. We've talked about this.
No,
You
no,
guys
but
are on
those
Wiki
are-
Feet?
Yeah, we are.
Do you have a good rating?
I have a good rating. I don't know if you have a good rating.
I think I have a better rating.
You think you have a better rating?
And I
think
want to
this-
know, and I want to know how many votes we each have, because that's important. Okay.
Wiki
That's
feed,
fair.
Sistine, you have a 5 out of 5.
Hey, how many votes?
This has, does it even say how many votes?
Yes.
It doesn't say here.
Yeah, next to the stars it says.
No, it just
Sistine's
says.
a
I know it
little
says-
too
it says-
proud.
it says
Sistine's a
five.
little too
First
proud.
All right, let's start. I don't know how often you're checking Wiki feed. Hello, everybody, and
Oh.
welcome back to another episode of the Unwaxed podcast with your favorite sisters, Sophia.
And Sistine, or should I call myself Tantina?
We are
I look beautiful.
I would say to Sistine, we went on this trip. We had one goal in mind.
Mm-hmm.
It was to get tan. I don't know why, because we just know that we look like 10 times better human beings when we're tan.
Well, listen, it's like we have not seen the sun since the War of 1812. Living in New York, it's pretty impossible to tan here. And people do it. You know, we'll be walking along a park and girls will just be out in thongs tanning in the lawn, but right next to them is like a duck shitting and a homeless man shitting.
It makes me uncomfortable just to tan on the beach in public with a bikini
Yes.
on. Not that I'm nervous to do it, but I'm already just a little aware that there are people around
Yes.
looking at my butt. But the fact that people just do it on a sidewalk,
New Yorkers don't give a fuck.
they don't care at all.
No, literally,
I've
they'll
seen
put-
guys do it all the time as well. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
but we're a horse.
yeah, they don't care.
Well, here's the thing. You guys can like run shirtless.
Yeah.
There's your tan.
but then they have the bad tan. line.
Wait, but didn't New York pass a law that women can be completely braless, topless?
I can look this up
Can
if
we
you
fact
want.
check
I don't know
this?
if I need this
I don't know
in
if
my
I
search
need this
history,
information, but I kind of want to know
Not
now.
that I'll use this information,
But it's good to
I'm
know.
curious about it. I just feel like having a tan is a superpower. I
Yeah.
just mentally, my fog is away. And it's
Yeah.
so annoying that everything I do is 10 times more proficient. Like my workouts are stronger. My outfits hit harder. My makeup slays because minimal
Sophia.
makeup. I'm like, wow, I'm glowing from the inside.
Being tan equals proficiency.
Being tan equals 10 times better human being.
Can you be topless in New York?
It actually says that they ruled it twice. Like once it says in 1992, and then the most recent one was 2021. Anywhere that men can be topless in New York, apparently women can also be topless.
See, this is what I'm saying. Being tan, I'm considering it.
Here's the thing. I completely agree with you. My workout so strong today. Normally I wake up and I'm in a bad mood because I look at myself, I'm like, oh, I'm getting varicose veins. I'm not, but like I just feel like ugly and just like, meh. I woke up today, spring in my step.
No,
I sprung out of bed.
No, a
So
guy
it's a
doesn't.
beautiful day.
A guy doesn't text me back. I'm like, it's okay. I'm tan. I'll find another one this weekend because I'm tan.
No, Sophia and I have,
It's so
okay, so
bad.
we just went on a little vacation and then we spent a few days in Palm Beach, and a lot of really good things have been happening to us. Things that we would normally complain about, like flights getting delayed or our luggage not coming
Yeah.
out on time. For example, I was going on a walk, a bird shit on me.
Right on her shoulder.
That's supposed to be
me.
good luck, though.
And we were talking about a very specific thing that's coming up for Sistine involving love. And
Weird.
it was the weirdest thing, the sentence that she said,
then-
and then the bird pooped,
We brought it up again, 2 black cats in front of me,
which she considers good luck.
Double negative.
But I feel like that's what
right?
I was thinking. And I also think that one cancels out the other, the bird pooping, the cat coming in.
And then we get on a plane, a man offers me his seat so I can sit next to Sophia. I said, this is just the greatest day ever.
And then we get off the plane. Another man said, if that guy didn't do it, I was going to do it for you guys.
And we are convinced it's because
'Cause
we're
we're
tan.
tan. That's
Bunch of pick-me's. Who's gonna do it?
Honestly,
it's because
I know people
God.
listening to this right now are going to be like, shut the fuck up, you stupid whores. And let me tell you, I agree. But let us just have some fun. I think also this is a lesson. There should be nothing wrong in hyping yourself up. Okay.
I agree. By the way, remember that joke that people said if I was a therapist and you were depressed, I'd say, have you considered tanning? This is the thing. It's silly. But by the way, we feel better. I actually feel so much better coming back to the city, and we're headed into the fall, and we look like we're coming into the summer.
Yeah, so all of y'all, laugh at us now, but when you're pale and our tan is still here, come winter,
Call us.
who's gonna have the last laugh? Me.
Us.
Thank you.
Well, we went to Italy with our family, by the way, which was so amazing.
Yes.
It was so much fun. We went and had pasta for every meal. We drank wine every single day.
Which, by the way, it is disrespectful if you don't have wine with every meal.
It's
very disrespectful.
I feel like it's a rite of passage when you're in Italy.
No, but it's like a law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really have not had that much alcohol, specifically wine, for that long of a duration. That was like 10 days long.
I feel good. Listen, I was posting thirst traps left and right. Chris, I know you saw. I know you saw. Chris liked them. There we go.
Sistine and I made it a point to
at
least get one photo a day.
I have to.
We have to.
I'm targeting certain people here.
Yeah, it kind of worked.
Sometimes do you target, like when you post a thirst trap, right? Mm-hmm. It's never one target. There's at least 15 targets. Even if it's someone that you're not interested in, you want them to notice it.
Oh, it's kind of that thing where I just want the mass public to think I'm thriving, like especially the mass public.
Oh, so you're thinking about everyone.
Well, there's few people I'm targeting and I'm thinking about.
Okay.
But it's, what's funny is that I posted these photos with the intention of a few eyes on it because I'm like, I want this to look good. But I always end up getting the other people that I didn't want to respond.
Always.
And they do. But it's kind of funny that, I don't know if men do this or why they do this, but it's like they come out of the woodworks when you post a really, really good photo. Suddenly they're DMing you saying like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I haven't talked to you since 2 years ago, or that date we went on 6 months ago. And
my dad always says this, men are visual people.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a fact.
So he always says, if you want him to notice you, he goes, post a photo, post a story. It works. It's that simple.
Do you guys ever post a photo with the intention of hopefully a girl looking?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Like, what
sure.
type of photo do you guys usually go for then to get a girl's
Depends on the
attention?
kind of guy.
Yeah, that's true.
How reserved are you?
Yeah. Are you more of like, I'm on vacation with my friends?
He's a gym selfie guy.
She knows.
Yeah.
You are? I didn't even know that.
Oh my
She knows.
God.
Well, you'd have to
She
follow
looks-
me back to know.
I didn't even realize. I'm so sorry.
You don't follow producer Chris?
That's fucked up.
I don't call him producer Chris.
That's why not?
I didn't even realize. Honestly, I'm bad with my followers.
If you weren't so
and
tan,
followbacks.
you'd be blushing right now. We all know it.
I know. I'm really embarrassed. I'm sorry.
Maybe
I
she's
will
trying to
follow-
play hard to get.
Yeah, this is my entire game.
Yeah.
I do play a lot of games.
Wow. Wait, what was your foot rating?
I think it was a 5.
I think.
I think.
Pull up the
Just-
receipts.
We're just leaving it at that. But guys, like, remember one of our guests came on and he said that he loved white toenails. Remember
Was this
Michael?
Michael Blaustein?
Yeah.
I feel like we can say it. He's like a known foot lover.
Oh, yeah, no, he said it on our podcast. He's like,
He did like a whole Hannah Burner foot review
See?
when I
He
produced their show.
reviewed her feet.
Yeah, like on the podcast. I'm quite sure.
oh, no.
I would be so insecure. I don't get the low. I think feet are disgusting.
Yeah.
I know.
So do
Mine are
I.
wide.
Believe it or not.
They look like my dad's.
I just
don't have
just
good
don't.
feet.
I just don't like them. Steve, that's so
it's
bad.
true. I have
Don't even
big
say
feet.
that.
I have big feet. You know what they say
You-
about big feet?
Big hearts.
Good personality. What the fuck are you looking
Big
at?
personality?
Yeah, good personality.
Right. Okay.
That
Sorry,
is-
I seem to
yeah.
make you laugh all the time.
You don't. You know what someone said to Sistine and I? So we're on this trip, and Sistine and I are super close, clearly, because we live together, we do everything together, work together. We always say this. But I guess we had more of an audience this weekend that with family friends that were watching us, and they go, I don't know how you two are ever going to find a guy to fulfill you. And Sistine and I are saying to each other, what do you mean?
That was pretty harsh.
And they said, you two depend on each other and fulfill each other so much that I don't really know what guy can kind of
It's
replace
true.
that. And I didn't even put that together because throughout the whole week, like we were really in sync. We were laughing at the same jokes. Anytime one of us wanted to do something, the same person was on the same wavelength. And we have the same banter. And
Well, I think
It
when
was-
we're in a group of people, especially our parents' friends, and we want to make them look good, but also, keep the conversation
Yeah.
going. It's almost like we're doing a bit.
yeah.
Like we know our rhythm and flows so well because we have this podcast. So you'll say a punchline and I'll know exactly when to hit this. And it's like, wait, are we doing a routine? Like none of this feels real.
Then I think about I'm like, I'm not going to have my nights where Sistine and I are going to be cooking this eighth salad we made the week, watching reality TV, and on the couch sitting with our big pillows. Like a guy won't do that with me. And it's weird because we do fulfill each other so much. We're so codependent that even though we're not in a relationship, I'm so happy to just be doing things with you. Oh,
really?
Stop! Don't do that.
It's because I'm tan, isn't it?
Yeah,
you're being really nice.
I'm feeling better about it.
We actually were talking about this. The trip that we were on, there was a lot of, I don't want to say older women because they're not
they were old.
They're in their
married
mid-50s
with their kids. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to say matured women. They're married with kids.
Mm-hmm.
And they were looking at Sophia and I, and the whole time they were just giving us like nuggets of advice and wisdom and things that they wish they heard at our age, things that they wish they did more at our age. And I thought it was really interesting because, you know, sometimes you look at people and you think that they have everything figured out and they have it all together. They have the picture perfect life with the husband and the kids and they're beautiful and everyone's just happy and healthy. But there's always going to be like regrets. I don't think I've met one person that doesn't have a regret in their 20s. Right? Like they're always wishing they did more, saw more, dated more.
Yeah, and it kind of actually put into perspective when I was with these matured women, when we were talking about our dating life and in our 20s and the funny things that we get into, and they were just listening and biting on the bit to like hear more, talking about their stories. And it made me realize that they're girls too. Yes. You know, that these women that are older, I mean, you can look at your mom, for example, and say, you know, she maybe makes you do things that you don't want to do, or maybe she bothers you sometimes because she's so nitpicky about where you are in life. But she, at her core, is still a young girl as well. Like
sometimes you forget just because they're an adult doesn't mean they're still not figuring it out.
Yeah,
like you are.
I mean, how many times have you seen women in their 50s redo their entire life? Like, I'm starting over. I'm so lost. Like, you forget because you think that these adults, you know, they have their kids, they have their husbands, they have their house, that they, you know, just figured it out. But they look at us as 20-year-olds going like, God, you know what I do to do that
I feel
again?
like the overlying thing that they just kept reiterating to us was, say we would say an example or a story of like, oh, I'm afraid to go for it with this guy. I'm afraid to pursue this career because it's just a pipe dream. And every single time they would just say, who cares?
Yeah.
They say the only good thing about getting older is you stop giving such a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I wish someone would tell me when I'm 20, who cares? Call that guy. Who cares? What's the worst that'll happen? He doesn't answer?
Yeah.
Who cares? Your life continues. Like, I think we think that these moments that are in our life that are so like groundbreaking, earth-shattering, like kind of send us into a spiral at this age, in hindsight, it really isn't going to matter a week, a year, 10 years from now. So it's like, just tranquilo.
I know. I think our brain overanalyzes and overdoes our little world that we live in with the little people that we have involving with it right now. But if you think about it, 5 years from now, we won't think about half the people. 5 years ago, I don't think about half the people that I was obsessed with, that I was cringing over a text over, a bad date that I was on.
Think about this. One guy from last year that totally put you into a spiral. Do we know anything about him now?
I have no idea.
Who cares?
Because
we don't care.
It really did, like, because there were so many times Sistine and I on this trip wanted to do something, but we were a little bit resistant and hesitant, especially me, about pursuing it. But I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Who gives, like, what's the worst that can happen? I'm
Another,
young.
another really interesting point that they brought up was your number.
Yeah.
The number of people that you've slept with.
I have just a quick question before we dive into this. Do guys really care about a girl's number?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you say is
don't.
not for you? I'm saying not. I'm not going to pin it on
she's
Chris.
about to crucify me.
I'm not I'm not going to pin it on you, but I'm saying in general, from your friends, from what you heard, what is like a number that people usually?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's different for everybody. But
Okay.
do they care? I think most people do. I think a lot of people pretend like they don't.
Right.
And I don't think that it necessarily matters, but I do think a lot of people
I think it depends
think
on the
so.
box theory of where you put that girl in your brain. Like if you see her as, this is just my hypothesis on it. If you see her as wife, girlfriend material, you'd hope her number would be lower. Whereas if you just see her as a one-night stand, you don't really care what the number is. Perhaps.
I think that's generally true, yeah.
Generally true. Because we were telling them, they were shocked by how many dates, even first dates that we've been on, that guys ask what our number is.
Yeah.
And they were just completely floored because they said, never in my life, never in my 50 years of dating has anyone ever asked me that question. I'm not sure if it was like a generational thing or what is it, but they were just saying, listen, if a guy asks you that, he is not the guy. He is an insecure dude with his own problems. And if you feel the need to answer, they said lie about the answer.
You guys got asked that on your first date a lot?
I haven't. She has. I'm not sure.
An odd amount.
I can't really remember too many
One
times
guy-
I've asked that question, period.
Well, no, get this. One guy went as far as to say, out of nowhere, by the way, I try to not talk about anything intimate, sexually, nothing like that on the first date, kind of inappropriate. Out of nowhere, this guy asked me, you look like you've been with over 50 men.
Yeah,
I got up and left. I got up and left.
That's pretty fair.
That was really bad. Yeah. That was bad. But you know what's funny is that
Bad. Very bad.
it's very, first of all, women, if you're ever thinking about your number and you're embarrassed about it, please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't.
That's the whole who cares?
Who cares? Who cares? If he's judging you on your number, goodbye, sayonara, he's not your man. Because anyone that's
Seriously.
because he can have 70 lovers and then you have had 17, you're strictly on the scarlet letter
Because
zone. Like,
they kept
are you
reiterating. They said at the
joking?
end of the day, you could do everything right. You could be as innocent as having 2 people until your husband, or you could do the opposite. Your life is still going to have a very similar outcome. Like very similar. It's really not going to change anything. So I don't know. I really I loved being around older people for a change because for some reason, obviously there's reason, but I just really trust them.
yeah.
And I hear their advice.
I hear their advice, and I love it. And they also put it into perspective about like, don't even ask men that question. Like, don't even worry about what he's.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's this girl made a joke. She goes, "That's BC. Today's AD." Like before, her name was it starts with C. Her name was Carrie. So she said before Carrie, BC. And Sistine and I now say that was before us, like BS.
That was
That's
BS.
before Sophia. That was before Sistine.
That's the move. If a guy ever says or a girl says, "Tell me about your ex," well, that was BS.
Yeah, that was BS.
Or that was BC.
You got to just
Chris.
tell them you don't have exes.
Yeah, you just say you're. Just
Don't tell me you have
nothing.
exes.
You don't wanna
I've
know.
never, yeah.
See, that's interesting. Why is it that some guys really want to know about an ex and some don't at all?
Well, I do. I like to know sometimes.
I think it's helpful. Like, these are kind of 2 different things in my mind. It's like, how many people have you been with, like, sexually or whatever, versus how, what has your relationship been with like a long-term ex? Like, they're different things. And I think the knowing how your previous relationships went is helpful.
It's so helpful. I feel like
It's
I really.
telling.
And you know what a big red flag is? I know we always say this, but when they really shit talk their ex. But what I've noticed recently is when their ex history is just very kind of scattered all over the place. Like the pieces aren't really adding up here.
The pieces aren't puzzling.
They're
like
not
that
puzzling.
this one ended really good and this one ended really bad, or
and
just
that one's
they're
crazy and she still wants me, but I never actually took her out. And you're like, wait, what kind of relationship was this? This happened with the last guy I went out with.
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
So
my
many
God.
red flags.
By the way, this guy that she went out with last, I don't know. I felt a little fishy about him. He was a little bit suspicious to me.
I feel
but
like enough
I trusted your
time-
gut for a second.
Enough time has passed where I can grace the podcast listeners with this story.
You have to tell this story.
A few episodes ago, I was gushing. I'm like, I think I found a boyfriend. Like, I'm feeling good. This guy's hitting all the boxes. Sophia's like, you're wifed off. And then all of a sudden implodes.
Well, let's put in perspective, you guys. This
Okay.
man was age appropriate in his late
Yes.
20s, had
Height
a good
ap-
job,
Height appropriate.
height appropriate, looks great, like a little Ken doll. Not a little, he's a big Ken doll.
Let's not give him that much credit.
No, he was a good-looking guy, and he had a good job. He was the perfect New York finance bro. Let's just
He
say
was
that. Like the perfect.
6'5", blue eyes, looking for a man in finance.
Yes.
That was him.
That was him.
Truly. They're not all what they shake up to be, let me tell you. So we go on so many dates. I'm feeling good.
But he's responsive.
He's being responsive. He's a gentleman. He's booking. Doesn't pressure me to do anything. Like, all the boxes are tick, 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 tick. There were a few things that I didn't love,
Me too.
but I ignored because I like to do that. For example, followed tons and tons and tons of females,
I let
perhaps
Sistine know
female
that.
entertainers online.
I just noticed
That's
on
the
my
right
fake
word.
burner account when
She went fake burner
I watched
account.
his stories all the time. I was keeping an eye. I didn't trust him because Chris is looking at me like I'm crazy, but I don't care. I went on my burner account, looked him up, and I just saw that even after dating Sistine for a little bit, he was still following these girls with gorgeous, voluptuous, hot photos and bodies. And I was
Yes.
like, I'm not sure
And
if
here's
this
the
is a good thing.
We talked about this, and he claimed they're all my friends.
You're just friends.
Imaginary friends or
Oh,
real friends?
yeah,
Just
okay. The
friends.
girl that's like doing Sports Illustrated in the Bahamas is your
She
best
wasn't
friend.
Sports
You don't think she's a
Illustrated.
good friend?
That sounds like your closest friend.
So again, I'm trying to be the pick-me. I'm trying to be the cool girl. Like, oh yeah, nothing will shake me. I have guy friends, no problem. Slight problem comes up later. So cut to,
like 7th date?
we're a lot of dates in at this point, and this is when my world imploded. That's so dramatic. My world doesn't implode.
Well, this is
Not
when
for
you
him.
rocked my world in a bad way.
He rocked my world in the worst way possible. I got seasick from the rockiness. Okay.
Aw.
So after we get drinks one night, we go back to his apartment, and he kept saying, no, 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 no. And I said, oh, okay. I felt a little bit rejected. Like, oh, we don't, it's fine. We don't have to go watch a movie. It's chill. And then he was like, I mean, yeah, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I'm like, no, 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 it's fine. I'll really just go home. And he goes, okay, no, it's fine. Come. So we go to his apartment, and he just barrels in the front door. This is an important note before I continue. I had yet to say any sort of label on the situation. We communicated that we liked each other. He expressed that he's not seeing anyone else, that he doesn't need an answer from me, but he's all eyes on me, and there's no one else in the picture. I said, great. Fantastic. So he barrels into his apartment, right? And he's just scattering, sorry, it's a mess, it's a mess. When I tell you it was perfectly clean, maybe one tiny pile of laundry on the couch. I was like,
Oh,
dude,
pretty
this
good.
is fine.
yeah, for a guy's apartment.
He
Maybe
goes barreling into his apartment. He's freaking out. There's a mess. There was no mess. I was like,
Just call him
relax,
Mr.
bro.
Finance.
Mr. Finance. That's his name, Mr. Finance. I said, relax. It's not a big deal. So we start watching the movie. Perhaps there was some kissing. I won't go into detail, okay? And I get up and I go to the restroom. And as I'm peeing, I look over at the counter and I said, that's weird. This is also important to note. On our second date, I went to his apartment and he cooked for me. So I've seen what the layout looked like. I've seen what the bathroom in particular looked like. Nothing on the counter, super clean, nothing but like a toothbrush and a shaver. That was pretty much it. And I look at the counter and I said, I have a lot of these products. I have that concealer. I get up. Literally, the entire bathroom counter looked like a Sephora.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just trying to make you feel comfortable
No,
at home.
There was Tatcha.
Chris!
No, Chris, I will throw hands.
So bad.
Don't do it with me.
There was
So bad.
Tatcha for my girls, Tatcha water cream. There was a new facial massager charging, and it was pink. Okay. There was like Tarte Shape Tape.
Oh,
There was
Drunk Elephant.
There was Drunk Elephant drops. Okay. I mean, this man is either living a double life on me, or there was a female here. And then this is what gave it away. I was really trying to give benefit of the doubt because I was in a moment of panic. At this point, I've been in there for 2 minutes and this is looking suspicious for me.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the toothbrush. Next to his blue one, there's a pink one. And I said, oh boy, I'm getting two-timed. Immediately,
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling anything, but I just want to call this motherfucker out. Like
Yeah.
I was like, what is
What
this?
else can you do at this point? Like, you have nothing
Normally
to
I
lose.
would ignore it and like continue on with the night, but
Yeah.
I was so heated. So I get out of the bathroom and I look at him and I said, hey, Mr. Finance, what's up with the pink toothbrush next to your blue toothbrush? Why do you have two?
Yeah, what did you? You don't need to, unless you have incredible hygiene.
And he goes immediately, oh, no. You know, when you go to the dentist and they give you 2 toothbrushes, like I just like to keep spares. And I said, that's a really good lie on the spot. And care to explain all the female products? And he just laughed.
Just laughed.
He didn't even try to sneak in like, oh, my cousin, she was just visiting.
No,
like nothing
that
of
would
the
have been a
sort.
good one. I would have believed that.
He didn't even try to come up with a line on the spot. I think
Damn.
he was just like, "There's what can I say?" He just laughed. He just laughed, and it just put the pieces together. He's still seeing probably the crazy girl that whatever he was describing before. But also, what I found was quite suspicious was earlier that night he made it a point to tell me that all of his friends are like gross because they watch porn and they use women just to get off and all this stuff. And he goes, but I don't do that. I don't need to do that. I'm one of those guys where I like to like
He's scary.
not do anything for months because then I work harder in the office and I work out harder in the gym and say all this stuff. And I'm like, first of all,
He's the worst human being.
This guy's a dork.
This is the worst guy.
And so I'm sitting there like, TMI. Thanks for sharing. I don't know if you wanted me to be like, that's so admirable. Like,
Oh my
wow.
God, you do finance.
I was like,
and
okay.
you
But now
weightlift
it's
and don't
making
watch-
sense. He's getting it from somewhere else.
Duh.
Because he wasn't getting it from me.
Yep.
Moral of the story is, don't go for the man in finance, 6'5", blue eyes.
Go for the one that isn't in finance. 6'5".
Go for the
Lewis.
tech startup.
No,
Yeah.
not all of them. Well, no, I'll tell you what the
Even
best part about
dorkier.
this is. I'll tell you the best
nice.
part about this is. Sistine clearly has the upper hand. She leaves, right? And this is a lesson for all y'all ladies. If you really want to get in a guy's head.
Oh, yeah, I did just leave right after that.
This is a way to get in a guy's head. If you've been scorned, scorched like Sistine, had your time wasted by a
was a
man
long
in
time.
finance. Here we go. Or any man. He texts her the next day, very, very happy about how great the date was, right? Clearly just ignoring the issue here. Sistine,
That was strange. I didn't know if he actually didn't realize.
he, I think, realized it, but I think also some people are, unfortunately, going to turn a blind eye because they want to be in a relationship so bad. I don't want to say like desperate because that's not a very nice word to say, but I also think
Yeah.
that it's hard to find relationships out there, especially with someone that's attractive that you get along with, because you did get along with him. And
I was so upset, honestly. I was so upset.
Exactly.
I just feel like, God damn, every single time this happens to me.
Well, that's my point is that what Sistine did after was the best way to get in the guy's head if he's done you
yeah.
wrong. Ready? And we've said this on the podcast before. He reaches out, is very nice to her. She sends her basically ending response to the relationship. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you know what? It's not working, right? And of course he comes back and goes, why? She sent nothing
I ghosted
back.
him. But here's what's really a good move, I think.
That was the good move.
No. But what I said within the text, I think is really good. Say if like you are in a sort of similar situation, and you felt slighted and disrespected and lied to, essentially. And of course, you can give like your whole rant, and you can just send a voice note or call or text, just a paragraph of you just calling them out. For me, that doesn't actually speak volumes. I sometimes feel like when in doubt, shout. The louder you are, like the more kind of bothered you look. And I don't ever want to come off
you
like
wanna
I'm
seem-
bothered by this person. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because you did that, I want to show you like, well, fuck you. I'm still fine by myself.
Taking back your control.
So this is what I did. I sent one of those very purposely, the most basic, generic ending text, like the cookie cutter, copy and paste what we've seen a million times. Like, I'm trying to think. I said something like, I just
had a
feel
great time with
I've had
you,
a great
but I
time.
just don't
I
feel
don't
like-
see us working in the future long term, but it's been great getting to know you. Something like that. And immediately he writes back something like, can you tell me what exactly wasn't working? And I said nothing, because at the end of the day, if that person did not give you the respect of honesty, why should I be honest and tell you what really is the reason? I want you to sit there in your fucking little office chair and spin around in circles and crunch numbers till your fingers bleed. That was dramatic. I wish you the best. Not.
I'll tell you what is
I'm
it.
sweating after that rant.
I'll tell you what's a good transition into that we wrote down. The New York Post came out with an article, and the title is "NYC is the worst U.S. city for dating. Study confirms."
They did a top 10. New York is number 1. Los Angeles is number 2. How messed up is that?
It's pretty bad. And to be honest, I completely agree.
Wait, actually, I pulled a quote from this. So the New York Post quoted, they said, deemed, quote, cutthroat by freaked out folks on the prowl, the city's dating scene, unfortunately, oversaturated with non-committal singles. Keyword, non-committal. What the heck is going on? That's the whole article was about how the city is so condensed with people, but none of them want to settle down. And I think it says something like the divorce rate was so low in New York because no one's actually getting married here. So
That's pretty
bad.
crazy.
I know.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's just, it is hard here. It's just everyone is, frolicking 24/7 and it happens. And it doesn't make our case any better since we were trying
But
to
it
find
is winter.
someone.
It is winter.
Cuffing season.
Chris, are you going to find someone for the winter? Keep you warm in those cold nights?
No prospects, but then that's when everything gets messy.
What do you mean?
Wintertime.
Really?
I feel like people just try to grab onto anybody.
Yeah.
I'm up for grabs. Someone grab me. Wait, why is that bad?
Someone
Don't you
grab
want a
me.
relationship?
I feel like people put on a lot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking.
How does women? I want to know like how a woman puts on.
I
You
don't
mean
know.
like puts on like she's like
Like
it on
settle
extra-
more quickly.
settle quickly.
Yeah.
So are you the slow burn type then?
I guess. Yeah.
I don't know what I am. I'm picky as hell.
Sophie, you jump headfirst into the shallow end.
No.
Yo.
No. I
Maybe
swim in the
that's me.
kiddie pool because I want things to be very surface until I can feel. It's a Virgo thing. I have to think about it for 20 years until I can commit because I get nervous. Okay. Let's probably do the listener questions.
Oh, ooh. Okay, this listener question's a little crazy. Okay, I'm gonna keep this person anonymous, but honestly, she's kind of savage for the honesty. So this person wrote, the guy I'm seeing is 36 and I'm 27. We loves an age gap. It's going to sound terrible, but I opened his phone. He gave me his passcode, and I was only interested in seeing pictures that we took when we went to Orlando, Florida, and then started seeing sex videos of him with girls from 2018 to 2023, and I was completely disgusted. I don't know why guys must have naked pictures or videos, but even worse, of an ex or a booty call. Very explicit videos, and I've tried breaking it off with him, but when I do, he says that I have issues. I do, but who doesn't, she said. And I tell him, you're right, let me go, but he calls and pleads and says he's going to Mexico and no one will ever hear from him again. I just need a girlfriend to tell it to me straight. I do care for him and it's hard. Breaking things when the connection is good, but there's all these bad things he's ready to say. So she's in a pickle because she feels scorned by this person, seeing all of the content on his phone. It's one of those toxic like tug and pulls. Like you fight really hard and then you're almost so connected to that person because the fighting is now confused with the love that when they bring you in, it feels safe again.
It's too
just
much
to push you away
passion,
again.
yeah. If you confuse the fighting for passion, and it's like, oh, we fight for each other so much, and who cares what it means or
Yeah.
says, and
Fighting isn't love. Yelling isn't love.
yeah.
Aggravated name throwing isn't love. Like that, I think that's what you're confusing it with. Just because it's passionate in the heat of a fight doesn't mean it's passionate emotionally. Like
Yeah, like passions and other things. It's in the way you guys dance, kiss, laugh. Like that's the healthy way. Like you can have some arguments, but arguments shouldn't be yelling. And also the fact that there's these videos
oh my God,
is enough
girl,
to go.
How do you go back?
You can't go back. You can't. I mean, it's
that's
just
gnarly.
Well, I know a lot of guys. I've heard a lot of my guy friends do keep some suggestive photos from past girls in
Can we
a
confirm
secret
this?
private album.
When you have a significant other or not.
Okay, but see, this is the thing. I've heard that they still have it, even with a
Just in the
significant
back
other.
For sure,
pocket.
plenty of people do
See,
that.
a lot of people do. And I'm not saying that this guy is at all should be like cleaned and, totally fine. But I think it's totally wrong, especially since he is older and he's dating
Put it
someone.
in a secret folder album. I mean, what are you doing under your Orlando, Florida
but
photos?
also just like watch, I would rather you watch like explicit
No,
content
this guy
online
is
from a random girl.
inconsistent. He sounds messy. He sounds inconsiderable. He sounds like a total loser. And I think your answer is clear. You wrote in, I think, knowing what your gut should be telling you to do, but you're fighting right now with your head and your heart, it should be made very clear. Love should be easy. This whole complicated web of disaster, no. And the fact that, and I've been in your position where they sort of threaten you with this I'm gonna go away sort of thing, so you feel obligated to save them, that's not saving them. That's not helping them.
No.
Like, you're hurting yourself because, okay, yeah, he stays because he realizes his life is significantly better with you in it.
Right.
That he's gonna threaten you to stay in it. That's not love, girlfriend.
No, it's not.
No. Take a new trip to Orlando, Florida, get some hot Instagrams, throw up a thirst trap, dump his ass, and that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Okay. Do better.
That was your mic drop. Do better.
Okay, I don't know.
You do better. Sign us out.
I'm tan. All right. See you
She
guys.
said, I'm tan. See you next Tuesday.
We love you guys, and we will see you next Tuesday.